The CTO leaned across the polished glass table, his voice cold, clipped. That non-compete means you don't write a single line of code for a year. I didn't flinch, I just smiled. He thought he'd buried me. 12 months later, in court, I watched the judge's lips move, reading one sentence from a new state law. That was all it took. Their lawyer froze, pale as chalk, then turned to me. His whisper trembled. She knew. The whole time, she knew. Back then, I was their star engineer, the one who built their flagship product from scratch. Nights blurred into mornings as I stitched code into a system that made them millions. I thought loyalty meant something. Then came the promotion meeting. They sat me down with champagne smiles, congratulated me, then slid a contract across the table. A raise, yes, but buried on page 17 was a clause, a trap. Non-compete, 1 year. I laughed at first, said I trusted them, signed without hesitation. That was my mistake. 3 weeks later, the betrayal surfaced. I came into the office to find my access revoked, my email deactivated, my designs repackaged under someone else's name, my work, my life, erased with the stroke of a key. The CTO called me in that afternoon, smirk sharp as glass. You'll land on your feet, just not in this industry, not for a while. He tapped the contract, his contract. I felt the weight of my own signature pressing against my chest like a brand. Shock doesn't last. It curdles into clarity. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I went home, poured a glass of water, and opened the document again, line by line, clause by clause, word by word. That night, something inside me shifted. I wasn't a victim. I was an architect. Contracts were code, and every code had an exploit. The first thing I learned was patience. Non-compete law wasn't static. It was a battlefield. Judges shifted, legislatures tinkered, precedent changed like algorithms in flux. So I watched, I researched. While they grew fat on my work, I collected statutes like ammunition. Late nights in legal forums, early mornings in law libraries. My laptop became a weapon, not for building systems, but for dismantling theirs. The second thing I learned was silence. I didn't fight them, didn't send angry letters. I vanished. To them, I was finished. Just a waitress, working night shifts at a bar to pay rent. I let them believe that. Every drink I poured was cover. Every fake smile, camouflage. Because while they mocked me, I studied. And then, it happened. A whisper on a legal blog. A bill moving through state legislature. A revision to labor law. One clause buried on page 203, non-competes exceeding 6 months are void in this jurisdiction. My pulse quickened. The trap they thought I was locked in had just been outlawed. I didn't rush. No, that would have been sloppy. I waited. Let the law pass. Let it settle, unnoticed by them, overshadowed by bigger headlines. And I built. Quietly. Not with code, but with connections. Lawyers who owed me favors. Former colleagues they hadn't paid properly. Investors with grudges. Piece by piece, I constructed a case as meticulous as any software I'd ever engineered. 12 months passed. The day of reckoning arrived in a courtroom that smelled of dust and fear. My father would have called it poetic justice. The same company that branded me obsolete, now forced to face me on record. The CTO swaggered in, confident, his attorney carrying the contract like a weapon. She signed it, their lawyer boomed. She is bound. I stayed silent, calm, and at the precise moment I signaled my lawyer. Just like flipping a switch, she stood, produced the statute. The room shifted. The judge adjusted his glasses, and then, with a single sentence, everything unraveled. The non-compete in question is unenforceable by current state law. Silence. Then the CTO's face cracked, rage leaking through. His lawyer stammered, papers trembling in his hands. He turned toward me, voice hoarse. She knew. The whole time she knew. Yes, I knew. What followed wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Investors fled their sinking ship once my countersuit surfaced. Evidence of stolen credit, falsified signatures, withheld royalties. Shareholders pulled out. Their board fractured. I walked out of that courtroom not just free, but holding rights they never thought I'd claim. My designs, my code, my name restored in ink and record. I think back sometimes to that meeting, his sneer across the glass. You don't write a single line of code for a year. He was right. I didn't. Instead, I rewrote something far bigger. I rewrote their story.